Hey everyone, thanks for listening to this special news podcast, which I hope will remove some confusion. I'm thrilled by what's happening at the beginning of this year. Welcome to all of you new listeners. I'm praying for all of you. Some people read the Digging Deeper daily reading plan using the Youversion/Bible.com reading app, and some people listen to the daily Bible reading podcasts, which follow the same plan. And some people read along while they listen. This podcast is mainly to help people who want to both listen and read along. I hope I can clear up some confusion with the podcasts. One person wrote to say that her podcasts didn't end with a prayer. All of the daily Bible reading podcasts end with a prayer. Evidently, she was listening to the recordings that are bundled with many versions in the Youversion app itself. Both the GNT and the NLT already have recordings bundled into the reading app. Those recordings are played by hitting the triangular play button at the bottom and center of each chapter window. If you play those recordings, you won't hear my short introductory comments before each chapter, and there will be no prayer at the end of the New Testament passage. But the advantage is that the bundled recordings are of consistently great quality. Youversion has graciously allowed me to link my podcast recordings on the Devotional Content page, and I put them at the very top right-hand side of those pages. However, for most people using smart devices, the Youversion reading app won't allow you to both read along and listen using those links. If you leave the player page that pops up when you click on that link, the audio stops playing. Using those links only works for people who are visiting Bible.com on their computer. They can Ctrl-click on those links and the audio will open and can be played in another tab, and you can still go back to the prior tab and read along. For some listeners not into all this new technology, I realize that my last explanation was heavy and hard to follow. If you want, you can read what I said in the episode notes attached to this podcast. So, here's the bottom line. The easiest thing for most people using any kind of smart device who want to read and listen at the same time is to, 1, figure out what application you'll use for listening to the podcasts. Information is found by scrolling down the home page at dailybiblereading.info. I hope that whatever app you use allows you to see the full episode notes. Most of the time, you'll just want to listen as I read those notes, but there are times when having them available to refer to will be helpful. Secondly, every day I recommend that you open the listening app first and choose your next episode or day number. And then, number 3, while the podcast intro is playing, start the Youversion/Bible.com reading app and open the Digging Deeper reading plan to the day number you're listening to. 2017 is the first year where I have released 2 podcasts every day. Choose the dominantly yellow icon for the GNT podcasts, which were first released in 2016. Choose the dark blue icon for the NLT podcasts, which were first recorded in 2014 and tweaked in 2015, and now I'm tweaking some of them again. Several other kinds of podcasts that I release in this same space will have different colored icons. There's another little wrinkle. I knew that I wanted to improve the quality of some of the NLT podcast series, especially those that come in the first 5 weeks of the year. If you are one of those special people who started listening to the NLT series in 2016, please continue to use the listening app you have been using and searching for the series with the names that start with 2015 DBRP. All the links in the Youversion reading app for the GNT should work. But if you're looking for the NLT series, the links in the Youversion reading app will only work for 2017 re-releases of the NLT series. In other words, on January 3, the links inside the Youversion app will only be good for days 1, 2, and 3. Okay, all the heavy stuff is done with, and if you're still listening, I'm so encouraged by the growth of our Digging Deeper Facebook group in these last 2 days. This is only the second year for this group, and I already see some sharing that goes beyond what we saw last year. Several people have shared questions that don't have easy answers. Some have already been vulnerable in what they have shared, and 1 or 2 have said that they're looking to the group to encourage them to be consistent in reading God's Word. We need to add a few moderators for this group. Moderators have the power to delete inappropriate posts, although this has seldom been necessary. Mostly, moderators approve new people who want to join the group. I hope that moderators will be people who are spiritually mature. They might be called upon to make connections to others who can give appropriate counseling help for people who express the need for such help. Of course, such personal matters should be handled in private messages, not group posts. If you will be visiting the Facebook group regularly and would like to function as a moderator, please send me a private Facebook message, and my name there is Philip with 1L.C.Fields, spelled without any spaces. As you may already know, Gail and I are with Pioneer Bible Translators, and the focus of our work is in Indonesia. Right now, the urgent task at hand is revisions to the plain Indonesian New Testament that must be completed by mid-February so that printing of a second edition might start in March. Our translation team is also working on drafting the Old Testament. I normally make 2 7-week-long trips to Indonesia each year, one in the spring and one in the fall. I've been doing that since the year 2000. But the trip that I scheduled for February and March of this year may not happen. I would appreciate prayers for God's will concerning that trip. Please especially pray for my part in the New Testament revisions. The other key person to pray for in that is a man named Balazi, recently married, who is the coordinator of our translation team. I'll tell you more another time. Thanks for your prayers. May the Lord bless y'all real good this year.